You know, the only thing I can think that they was taking pictures of was to send that design back over to Germany so they could... Hey, production team, can you hand me my hat? Thanks. Ow. My production team's a little harsh. They're not the people you want to ask for a massage. Bang, bang, bang. So you know what? You guys liked the Porsche video so much last time and the Porsche stories, and it blew up, which is not surprising considering the car blew up damn near every day. So let's tell a couple more stories about it. Now I want to clarify one thing. The Porsche owners came out with their pitchforks in stride. And you know what? I don't think they was particularly happy with Mr. Westen. I'm sorry. You're probably not going to like this story either. But they did leave a few comments. And you know what? They're so funny that I've got to read at least one. And I think I found the funniest one to read. Now let's see here. Oh, here it is. An American truck owner complaining about that Porsche is unreliable. This is like McDonald's complaining about Whole Foods being unhealthy. Yeah. Let me say something, and I'll just leave it at this. That truck, that $800 one, has 300,000 miles. Never seen a Porsche with 300,000 miles. And you know what? If somebody could afford to drive a Porsche 300,000 miles, then that is either one really rich guy or one really broke guy because he gave all of his money to Porsche. Obviously, my mother did not learn her lesson with her Porsche Cayenne because she decided to double down. And she decided that she wanted a two-door black convertible. Now, after a little bit of searching, she found her one. She found a black two-door... She found a black two-door Porsche Boxster. Take in mind, this car was almost brand new when she found it. And needless to say, she bought this thing from Bob Moore out of Oklahoma City. And I went with her to look at this car. I think they remembered me. You know what? I bet you they'd have cut her even a better deal if we drove the $800 truck up there. Hey, would you take this in on trade? Anyway, probably not. This car, like I said, it was a black Porsche Boxster. It had the tan interior, 5-speed manual, Boxster-esque convertible. This car was gorgeous. It was amazing to drive. This thing was fast as hell. And you know what? It was an awesome car. Now, but you know, this car was like brand new. I mean, it had like 800 miles on it. The guy traded in after a couple months. I don't even know why he bought the car if he was going to trade in that soon. I guess he just didn't like it. But the biggest problem about it is my mother wasn't really that good at driving a manual. And so the first thing she really kind of learned to drive a manual on was a school bus. And then she's like, I can drive a school bus, so let me drive this Porsche. Needless to say, it wasn't a real easy start. But once she got going, she was good. So, for a while, it was a good car. But that while ended up being very short time, actually. You know, it seems like I think Porsches have a timer on them that as soon as they get out of warranty, it goes ding, 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 and then it breaks something. Like they install a gremlin underneath there, like I don't know. I don't know how it works. But Porsche, you've got this thing figured out. And you know what? There's a box up my ass. It's really making me... But after a while, it started breaking down on her and started giving her issue. It was to the point that this thing was at the shop longer than it was at our house for about a year. Now, she was going to Wichita one day, and the thing blew off the exhaust manifold. Something happened, the exhaust fell off of it. And she called me, and as always, I'm in my old cheap truck, but I was in an even cheaper truck at this time. The transmission had went out of the $800 one. So I had a $400 truck I was driving at this time. And this truck was known to be actually better than the $800 one. It was a GMC. It had a vet bed on it. And the vet that had it had hit a cow with it. So the front end was smushed in a little bit. The grill was kind of gone. And it had a vet body on the back. So this thing looked interesting, at least. So she calls me. She's like, hey, this thing's smoking. I think it's trying to burn something underneath and the exhaust sounds weird. I'm like, well, shut it off. You don't want to burn anything up on the car. I'll come and pull you to Schofield in Wichita. I'm like, all right. So we go up there and I hook a tow strap to it and we flat tow it on up to Schofield. And we get on up there, and obviously Schofield's a lot like Bob Moore in Oklahoma City. There's no way to go around the building. you just got to go through the service bay because, you know, obviously they want you to feel good as your Porsche is getting serviced and all that good jazz. Where's your sparkling water? I need it. My Porsche's broke down. Anyway, so the door's open. I'm like, all right, I've done this before. So I just roll on in there. Now, take in mind, this truck was pretty quiet. It had a stock exhaust on it, and it was a massive sight to be seen because this thing was the definition of a turd. I mean, you look up turd car or turd truck in the dictionary, there's a picture of this truck beside it. Yeah, you know what? I don't think you can make a truck look worse than this truck did because, like I said, the vet that used to drive it hit a cow with it. It's a 1992 3/4 ton GMC pickup with the front clip smashed in, the radiator's held in by baling wire, it didn't have no shroud, there was no grill, the hood was bent, and the hood was held down by the ratchet strap. Actually, I forgot about that.
Hold on. Why don't we just tell them what was good about it, actually?
It run. And you won't even believe this. The air conditioner worked.
This is the big thing with Westen.
The air conditioner worked. The air conditioner's got to work on all my junkers. If the air conditioner don't work, it's junk. So, I'm not even joking. You can't even make this kind of stuff up. This truck was just feeling jealous or outdone by the $800 truck making such a good show at Bob Moore that it wanted to make a show of its own. So I pull in there and, you know, they kind of look at the cars and one of the guys that's standing there kind of laughs at it. He's like, I've never seen anything pulled in by something quite of this scale before. I'm like, yeah, that's a pretty good looking pickup, isn't it? So yeah, that's a pretty good looking something. Anyway, I go to fire the truck up and I fire it up. And it blows the goddamn heater hose off of it, and steam is everywhere, just right on top of the exhaust manifold. Roof, steam out both fenders, out the hood. It's pouring antifreeze on their beautiful tile floor. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh, God. Can I get some of that sparkling water now? I might need to put it in my radiator. So they're sitting there, and the guy there at the Porsche dealership, he sits there, he kind of comes out and he kind of puts his head down and he laughs. He's like, well, we'll help you fix it. So they helped me put the heater hose back on. They had a piece of heater hose there. And we put it back on. And I got the thing pulled out of there. But needless to say, I was feeling a little embarrassed about that situation. Because I ain't joking. I just fired it up and it was just like a scene out of Looney Tunes. Just, whoo, shoo. Freaking steam on both sides. Antifreeze all over the floor. Well, actually, I'm lying to you guys. You know, I wouldn't use antifreeze in something that nice. It was all straight water. But so we finally get it out of there. We get the Porsche pulled around behind, and my mother gets in with me, and we start tootling on around, and we get around on the front side, and we're looking at all the new Porsches. And needless to say, not one Porsche salesman came out to talk to us while we was driving through the dealership. So, buying advice, if you don't like salesmen coming talking to you, find you about a $200 junker and drive through these dealerships, not one salesman will bother you a bit. But don't buy too much of a junker that they think it's going to break down, because if it breaks down, then they got to sell you a car. She got her a loaner car, and I went back down the road in my old pickup, and they fixed it. Well, 3 weeks later, the same thing happened. So take in mind, this thing's been fixed by the Porsche dealership 2 or 3 times. And they can't make it fixed. They can't keep it fixed, actually. So finally, I'm like, you know what, Mom? Just pull it out of the garage. And let's see if... let me just look at it, see what I can do. We pulled it out to the garage. This thing sounds horrible after the third time that it's blown the exhaust off of it. I'm like, all right, whatever. We get it jacked up, and I get underneath there, and it's blown both of the studs out of the exhaust manifold on the flange. So the flange ain't held together no more. I'm like, well... I know how I'd fix this if it was a $400 truck. A couple of Harbor Freight C-clamps and we'd call it a day. I get out and I'm like, yeah, Mom, I mean, I can fix it, but you're really not going to like the way I'm going to fix it. It's kind of like a temporary fix. It's like, well, just fix it that way I can drive it. I'm like, all right. So I went and got me 2 Harbor Freight C-clamps off the workbench, put them things on there, cranked them down real tight. And you know what? Perfect. Sounded perfect. That was 4 years ago. And it still doesn't leak a bit of exhaust. And them C-clamps are still on it. And what's the funniest thing about it is my mother was taking her Cayenne in, and I was talking to one of the service techs up there at the Porsche dealership. I'm like, yeah, she could never get that Boxster to quit the exhaust leak. And she's like, oh, we'll bring it back down. We'll put a set of studs in it. I'm like, oh, don't worry about that. I put a couple C-clamps on it. Guy just looks at me, he's like, what? Wait, what'd you do? I put some C-clamps on it. C-clamps? Yeah, you know, like C-clamps, the stuff you hold like welding projects together with. He's like, you're joking. I'm like, no, that's the best thing you can use to clamp your exhaust together. That or a really good pair of vice grips, like a big pair of them vice grips. You put them things on there, but there wasn't enough room for them, so we had to use C-clamps. He did not believe me until my mother brought that Boxster back in for something else. And she told me later on that the techs were out there, had it up on the lift, taking pictures of the C-clamps on the exhaust. I guess, you know, the only thing I can think that they was taking pictures of was to send that design back over to Germany so they could figure out how to fix the Porsche exhaust. I like to imagine that the first technician from down there, Bob Moore, somehow transferred to Wichita, and then in comes a black Porsche Boxster, and it's up on the lift, and he walks underneath there, and you're like, oh my God, the rednecks have got a hold of this one too. It probably didn't happen, but it would have been funny though. Let's just say it did. Yeah, say just like it happened. Make sure you leave a like down below on this video. That tells YouTube that we're good guys and that other people should watch us. Obviously, if you guys are new here, make sure you subscribe. And you know what? I will see you guys next time.